So, hi,
Hi.
how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Everyone, this is Sean Duncan of Scenario, Duncan Booth, Kid Mud, and various other projects. Also, the face behind Way Grimace Records, as you can see behind him. I'm going to start off with a question that is very vague, and I just kind of want to see how you answer it naturally. But what got you into music?
Um, it was probably certain albums that, because I'm an old man, there were certain albums that I heard that it didn't seem to be the popular music that you heard, which it's probably now popular music, but I remember I was probably 12, and I heard So What You Want by Beastie Boys and how it was recorded with the distorted vocals, all the production of it. Back then I wasn't 12-year-olds going, listen to this production, but I was just like, this is way different. I didn't know if I liked it at first, and I just started really wanting to try things out. So around 12, I got a drum set, which that's my. I'm not a drummer, but I tried. We grew up pretty poor, and my family got me a drum set, but they didn't realize that cymbals need stands. So we set it up in the garage, and I hung ropes from the rafters, and I had the two cymbals, my crashes on that. So I learned how to move with it, and it would come back to me. So
Sounds kind of amazing.
it was hard, but and then when I was 14, I wanted to maybe try to start playing guitar. So my dad had some chord sheets, so I just started going over the different chords and practicing switching, and then started writing my own stuff. And it was bad back then because I was like super into Ween, so I was making like joke kind of songs, and it was pretty poppy, terrible, easy bar chord kind of stuff. But then I just kept making stuff. I just wanted to keep going. I think my perspective of a musician is you definitely want to be seen. There's a small piece of ego that you want everyone looking at you. So it was definitely that. And then it just kept growing. And then I met all the guys from Fiverr. They were all 24 and I was 18. So I thought they were like super cool because they were old, and started learning how to record on a 4-track, which is over there. And from then on, it just kind of took over, and I just kept going.
Awesome. So, you're, I would say, most active right now with Scenario.
It was, but now with the new Kid Mud, that's going to be active for a while. But yes, Sean Ario was very active for a while.
Um, what made Scenario different than the other stuff you had been working on?
When Kid Mud started, it was a solo project. And then I had all these songs that I'd wrote, and I got some people to play live. And then Kid Mud turned into an actual band where we write songs together, and I needed another solo project. So Sean Ario became my new solo project, and I really like the whole French electro scene. Daft Punk, Sebastian Tellier. That first Justice album was amazing, and Boys Noise, Teenage Bad Girl, all that stuff I used to listen to constantly. So I wanted to try to do my own version of that. I didn't want to learn. I didn't want to rip them off, so I didn't do tutorials or anything on how they make their sounds. I just tried to do it myself, but it was still my own take on it, and I wanted to do something different than like guitar music and stuff like that. So I did Sean Ario, which is my electronic project with singing, and it was just my own project, which now is not my own project because I have Steve, the drummer from Kid Mud, doing it live. So I'll probably have to make a new solo project soon. But
You talked a little bit about Duncan Booth earlier and how that was just something that you did a long time ago, and you sort of brought those songs back together. Can you talk a little bit about Duncan Booth?
yeah, Duncan Booth was one of my first. I was in a band called Captain Standish, which was the worst thing, and I'm glad that there's nothing out there of that. And I was in Fiverr and Ann Stabone and DeMar, and I wanted to do a solo project. So that was when I really started writing songs that were trying to have meaning. And so I did that solo project. I got a bunch of guys involved to do it live, and it went well. I was wasted the whole time, so I thought I was wasted, fat, and had low self-esteem. So I thought we were the worst band in town. But it seemed like there were some good shows and everything like that. But it just kind of fell apart. We all had our vices, and we weren't very good at keeping it together. But I just kind of broke it off. We were supposed to record, and I broke it off, and that was it. But it's like 10 years later, I wanted to. Those songs we still kind of knew them, a couple of the guys from Duncan Booth, so we decided to record them, and I'm glad we did. It's going back, they're pretty, listening to it now, it's like, God, those are depressing. But I mean, it's like what I wrote then, so I'm glad I recorded them. But
well, in Mail Outgoing, or it's Mail Outgoing, right? That's like it's a good song. It doesn't sound depressing when you're listening to it unless you really listen to it, I guess.
Oh yeah, that was one of the low points. I guess I've always written songs for. It's weird. I'll write songs about a horrible situation in my head, play it over and over again, and then that situation's not as bad. It's almost like a therapy moment for me. But yeah, that song is it was a low point. But I guess if you don't know, then that's I don't really want to explain the song. So sorry.
It's fine. So Kid Mud just is releasing a new EP, and Kid Mud's been around for a while, and I'm really excited that new music is on its way. I mean, what I've heard is just Security Deposit, and it's great. It's a great song. I didn't realize that many interesting people were a part of that.
Yeah, I think the EP actually has 17 guests.
Wow.
Besides the 5 members. For 6 songs to have 17 guests, and if you're there's interludes in the songs which has vocals that I'm not even counting as the guests. But yeah, there's a lot of people in there.
So what else can we expect from Kid Mud? You guys are going on a tour, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do like a West Coast tour in July. We've already started 5 songs for a new record. I'm working on a B-sides record to put out maybe in October. That first album came out in 2009, but this EP was actually recorded a while ago, but the studio we had, the guy that owned the property sold the place, and we had to move everything, and it was in Jamestown, and we had nowhere else to do anything. So we finally built a studio, which we wanted to build it right, so it took a long time. It was just us building it. And we finally got it built. We finally got everything mixed and mastered and set up. So we finally got this. And it won't be as like a period like that, because now we have a studio. We can actually get in and start recording. But we have like 8 for a new full length already written. We just need to record them. And hopefully, and with the first 2 albums, the full-length album and this new EP, it's always had a lot of guests because it was kind of my own project. But now we've been solid for like 3 or 4 years with the same 5 guys. So we've actually been writing together, and the new album is pretty interesting. It's definitely a throwback to the harder 90s. So it'll be interesting. So hopefully it'll be taken well, but by then, hopefully the 90s will be cool again.
We're almost there.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
A lot of mom jeans around, I saw. The new thing is mom jeans, so.
Tell me a little bit about Way Grimace.
Way Grimace I had a lot of projects. At the time that I started Way Grimace, I had Kid Mud. I think I was thinking about Sean Ario. I had Thomby, Stabone and DeMar rock group. And I just had all these things that I was doing, but I had nowhere to do it really. So I decided I might as well try to do a record label to put out my own stuff. And then there's a lot of like Dan from Creepy Pizza, he's a he was a big influence, a mentor for me to learning everything. He was in Simone and Mara, he was in Duncan Booth, but he was Creepy Pizza, he was in Fiverr. He had a bunch of projects: Creepy Pizza, Sticky Situation, Wizard Combat, all this stuff that he would do. So I wanted to put out his stuff too. So I thought I'll learn, figure it out, do it all social media where I don't have to actually spend any money, but I'll try to promote as much as possible. I did it all legit. Got my fictitious name so I have a tax ID number and everything. I didn't need a business license, but made it all legit. And then it was super difficult to start off, and just like anything, it was just like you try to put out albums, you spend a little bit of money and you don't make any back, but it's super fun. And then I was going out more and learning. There's so many bands in this community that I just wanted to try to get it more of a community kind of thing. And I'm not limiting myself to just local, but it's definitely a lot of local stuff. And then I teamed up with Ronald Records, and we just been trying to do a lot more. We're talking to a band from New York who might sign on, and that'll be cool. But it's more of just a promotion, just trying to get it out for everything. With now like Salacious Wizard Cole, and I'm trying to get Princess Di on there, and some other things that'll come out this year. So
cool. How did you come up with the name Way Grimace? What is that from?
That's actually Stabona de Mar. Everything's just used over and over again. Stabona de Mar and Captain Standish back in the day, when cassettes, even though they're making a comeback, cassettes were actually kind of the thing to do. We would put out the Stabona de Mar, Captain Standish, Tron Travolta, and Songs for Sleep, and we called it Way Grimace Cassettes. So it was just back in the day. I don't even think I have any. I might have the first Stabona de Mar album that actually says Way Grimace Cassettes, but I don't have anything anymore. But I was trying to think of new label names, and I just thought I would go back to that since it's always been. But it comes from, I don't know if it actually comes from Better Off Dead, the movie, or it comes from us thinking that's what Better Off Dead, or it's just us watching Better Off Dead, wanting to eat lots of food, because we would just be like, oh, let's go get Way Grimace proportions of food. I think that's where the term came from, was that. So
That's great. You were talking about the new Kid Mud EP and how it's well, I'll just let you. So it's a concept album.
Mm-hmm. It's a concept album. Ghosts on Lee Street. Lee Street's the street I grew up on, and a lot of the songs are about childhood, or Golden Thumb Part 1's about my dad dying. Other ones are just weird situations I had in childhood, and they all go back to, like, mainly a lot of them are around key moments in death in my family. Like around a year or two, like a lot of people just died off in my family, close members of my family. So all these songs are kind of around that time. And in the interludes, there's my mom on there. I stole her voice from something that she was talking on. My dad's actually on there from his answering machine message tape that I took out of his house when we ransacked it after he died. So it's just it's a seamless album. There's no stops. I tried to make it flow through with the order and how the interludes go. So I didn't want to just throw out some songs with a name about my childhood. So I tried to make it as much as a concept as possible for the audience to listen to all the way through.
Awesome. I'm sure we'll put all of the links in the description. Is there anything else that you can think of that people need to know about Way Grimace or any of your projects?
Well, if you're a local artist and you want to send demos, because I'm always looking for either just to help, anything like that, you can email at Sean@waygrimace.com. and we can get started there, even if it's just, if you're not ready to put out an album, want to do a show, something like that. Whatever you want to do, I'd like to try to make this community music scene again. Back when I was younger, we had a big scene, and we had more venues. I'm not going to start a venue because that's like actual money that I would have to do. But it's like we used to have a lot of places to play, and I think that was more of the scene. You got to meet a lot of out of town bands, and it was just a way to make everything better around here. So, I mean, that's about it. If you go to waygrimace.com if you think you like some music, purchase it.
Please.
It's there for some of it's free because some of them have covers or they're remixes, and we don't want to spend the money on copyrights. So there's a lot of free stuff there. So,
well, thanks for having us to your wonderful home studio. Yeah. And if you haven't already watched the videos of him performing, they're going to be also, they should be right near this video. Look around.